Hello, this is Jer playing Shapes 2. The game has informed me it's been 85 days since I played this last, so it is well time to break back into this and see if I can make more progress. Let's start off with reviewing the map of what I had. I remember I have this whole setup for colors. I've got all these trains that are producing different colors, so we'll see if I can figure out how to reintegrate some of that into some of our designs. As far as a goal, let's go back. Don't necessarily know that I care about the operator level. Let's see if there's been any updates or upgrades since I played last. Looks like not. And we'll start off, I guess I pinned this second legacy. We'll see if we can create 2 or 3 of these. Since this is the beginning of 2026, let's make a more long-term goal for this, which I think... Let's see if we can get out all the milestones. Not necessarily today, but I like to get crystals, train delivery, and see what is involved in getting the final qualification. Alright, I'll make a plan to get our first shapes. My first move is to delete everything except for the color system and what we're dropping off. And then start placing things in. Okay, what is... Oh, right. I completely forgot there's this concept of upper and lower floors. Anyways, we'll get back in the groove. I think we are at a good starting place. Okay, so I got lots of colors. And I've got my place to drop stuff off. We want to get some of these little... I don't even know what the different names of shapes are, but the SG. Let's go after that. Figure out all my library I had left myself. This is a painting setup, which accepts 2 different trains, dropping off liquid and shapes. And remember this concept of the trains that are at the top, or load stuff at the top, and the bottom. So in this case, I want to, I guess, which one is which? If I, hold on, can I not click on? Okay, so shapes. Shapes, how do I undo? There we go. Right, so with that, I need to load in some shapes that are at the top, and I need 8 of them, so I think that's what this whole design was. Oh, did I have one that had the mining equipment with it? Oh, maybe not. Okay, so that brings in shapes. Must be something to flip. Yeah, okay, there was concept of flipping things around. And then I had a platform somewhere's here for mining. Shape mine times 4 probably. Put that in. In fact, I feel like we'll have 2 of these. And I think I want to load in a split way like this. And we'll do the same thing. Oh, hold on. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Again, we'll go in here. In fact, I guess that's effectively doing the same thing, isn't it? Okay. Now that I've got that, I think it's a matter of sending a train or rail to go into this setup. That's going to load into shapes if that worked correctly. Now I need to select my color. Nice thing is I don't have to do the color. I just need to take the train and tell it to go into this guy. And that should give us a train that has the shapes with the right color. We just need to split. Okay, can I remind myself, do I have a platform for cutting? Is that cutting? No, that's just individual platform. All right, I'll go search for something here. I do not see any color. Looking at this, looks like I have forgot the last little bit of a track. Right there. Oh. Is that loading? Or do we still have... Okay, green is on the way. With green on the way, let's design the rest of this. I think what I would want to do then is do a split up. And I'm realizing I probably have too many shapes because we're going to be cutting or doubling the amount of output. But that's all right. Well, now at this point, I think we have what we want. If I can load that into a train. see. I don't necessarily need to compress. I wanted to just, let's do shapes times 8. Maybe this. And then let's get an engine. Just shapes. Zooming like that. And then maybe this is the first step towards making more progress. I know I need to get towards the vortex. I'll drop stuff off like that. We'll see what that does. Okay, so no dice on this. This train here has arrived with green liquid. That's great. Why isn't it dropping stuff off? It looks like it's actually... I think we have a traffic jam problem, and I think the track on this side is just too short. Let's just maybe force this to be a little bit longer, give that a little bit more slack. Probably because we have 5 trains on it. There, things seem to be flowing now. Watching the first green trains arrive. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Hold on. Whoa. Okay, maybe I'll force them to go in a cycle, but they're not stopping, and I don't know why, so I guess I'll have to experiment. Now I realize what is going wrong. I've got my shapes that are supposed to be dropped off at the top. That's working. But the colors are also designed to be dropped off at the top. So how was that supposed to work? I'm so confused. Let's just look over here. It's kind of hard to see the train, just trying to verify if... Yeah, okay, the colors are loaded at the top. Then why is my design targeting shapes to also be loaded? Okay. So my first theory on how to fix this is to put a double stop, thinking that maybe this will force the train. Okay. All right. Will that work when the shapes will just keep going on? I don't know why I didn't have that as a default last time. Anyways, I guess the trains continue on and the shapes continue on. We have our green stars, and that'll load into this train, I'm hoping, and go towards the vortex. So I'm trying to change my strategy this time around. This time I'm going to be loading all my inputs close to the vortex. And I'll see if I can do some of my construction there. So at this point, we've got our green stars cut in half. And I've also started loading in some plane circles that are going to be dropped off right here. And we'll see if we can do this next bit close to the vortex. Maybe I won't need to send a train there. I do not seem to be good at planning rails anymore. Whoa. Why is this not connecting? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the first set of shapes are being dropped off here. I notice we've got a mix of directions. Some are up and some are down. A little bit confused as to why that is. Let's trace back. Ooh. Oh, okay. I guess maybe I should have had one rotated right around. They're all pointing in the right, the same direction. But let's have a look. What I want to do is I've got this stacking here, and I have this set up, I believe, such that I'd be able to connect these first 4 with what you want on top. Looking here, I want the circles to be on top. So I think that's the easy bit. That's circles on their way. Then there's these guys, and I actually think they both want to be rotated. Let's maybe do this type of thing instead, and we'll figure out what the rotation of each should be. And look in my library, I must have a turn. So one is probably going to be a clockwise direction. That would be, so we want to point up. I guess the other two would be counterclockwise. Oh, that's with a bend. Counterclockwise straight through. Maybe this is it here, and I believe 4 things can combine on one track. A little bit of distance to go, but not too... Does that seem right? Pretty sure 4 things can fill one track such that... All right, we'll see this roll for a bit, and I think that's going to give our next shape. What I'm also going to try to do, which I haven't been doing in the past, is multitasking. So while that is running, let's work on the next stage, which is pretty much the same thing, except some of the circles will be green. So I will bring in some green liquid. We've got that train here. Maybe we won't interrupt. I've got 2 trains of each color, so I'll have this go up into the area over here and take that up. And we'll unload some of this and get painting. So we've got my fluid unloading happening here. I guess my trains is interlace. I might, if this strategy works out, I might change that. But there's actually just 4 of these being unloaded. Anyways, let's look this next bit, which is just painting without the train. Okay, so liquid is on. I might need to flip this around such that we have liquid on this side, okay, and then shapes on the left. Let's try connecting this liquid from here to here. Oh, I see. Let's go up with that and into there. So that's our liquid going in. Let's try putting in our shapes. And this will give us our green circles. And we're halfway through this, so I don't know whether I could go down and do this type of thing, such that we start delivering both at the same time. Or I wire everything together. I think this might actually make more sense just because it won't be that long, and I'll eventually cut this off. Maybe I should spend my time working on the yellow half circle. That's what I'm going to do next. Except, is that actually connected? Oh, it is. Okay. Working on painting yellow. I see that the next goal has been done. So just to make sure we direct as many of these green circles through, I'll cut that. Now over here, I will start directing yellow to go into this guy. And now I guess we've got these 4 circles that don't have anything to do. What I might do is just tell them to combine themselves and input to this guy instead. Freeing up this lane. I think we can get through there. We can get over there and then into this guy. Oh, but that's supposed to be half circles, but we can cut that after. Okay, so why don't we look at a platform for a cut? Copy button there. So this is going to give us 4 half circles. Not entirely sure what direction. I think that's destroying the west half. So we should have it on the east side of that. We'll let that run and figure out how to connect that through. More train problems. I forgot you can't build right in front of the trains. So I guess we're going to have to go around like this. Easy enough. Noticing a little bit of issue here. Let's get that back. Let's get that back. Get rid of that. And then we've got our circles here. Hopefully it's made its way through. Okay, so I can see that I want to do a clockwise turn. So let's go add our turns to a clockwise CW straight 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then we want to throw these on top. So I believe we would want more of this. So let's direct I guess we can combine those into 4 because you're allowed to combine up to 4 in one track. And then on the right side, that's the top side. I've got that. I did that wrong, didn't I? It was supposed to be counterclockwise. Right. Okay. Switch that around. Counterclockwise straight. And reconnect all those things. Okay, so that's our yellow. This time, orient it in the right way. You just kind of clear that out. And then I want to have these guys, they can combine and then split like this. And then I can direct this to go in. And I think that is the next step if I've done everything right. Maybe. So the next issue is I'm realizing I have not actually delivered this. Which, do I need? Oh, okay, no pins. So I'm thinking to try to multitask. What I'm going to do here is take these two, combine them with that. And I think that should... I don't see a reason to have 2 separate tracks going out. I mean, maybe I will anyways, but I actually don't think that's necessary. Just maybe to avoid confusion, we'll do that. And this type of thing. Hopefully be able to start delivering 2 at... No, wait a minute. Back up. First of all, they're not all green. I think that's just is the old stuff. But I think I did have it right the first time. It's not that one. It was supposed to be clockwise, wasn't it? 2, 3, 4. Let's see, can I just paste over this and will it? Ah, nice. Okay, so I guess it's kind of like the mouth of it. It's supposed to be at the bottom. Let's just let this run for a second and see if that... There it is. Okay, I think that's going to be better. I think we are now in a situation where this is going to start delivering 2 things at once. Oh, okay, now we have to go back to the stars and make them white. That's easy enough. We'll let that run for a bit, at least to verify we're on the right track. Now that I see we have almost the amount of green, I think I can start directing these to go into that. So we have a full output here. And start delivering this. And I will go back to see if I can bring over yellow, which is being dropped off right here. Or no, white. White's the next one. So I'm really liking this idea of dropping stuff off in trains and doing some of the building close to the vortex. The reason for that is I feel like I can be a little bit more flexible than what I was doing maybe 3 months ago. The only thing I don't like is the fact that my colored trains are interlaced at the moment, so I might actually take that away. Starting back over here, let's look at the design. I guess I have 2 sets of trains that are dropping colors off, 4 at a time like this, and then loading that into another train, such that I eventually get a total of 8. I'm going to rework this such that the output of these trains is, instead of being interlaced, I'll just target this one here and we'll do the same change across the board. Let's see, select multiple. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the goal. I think it should be pretty easy, but I'll get started. Just watching this, I think all I need to do is just put a stop right here. So I've got loading up all the trains in the start, or for the odd parts. Then the train will go over here and load an even, and then we've got a train of 8, and then this will be the train that we'll target and we'll use for color from here on out. All right, so I think the easiest way to do this, maybe just to kind of take out some of the old stuff. Oh, I'm reusing that one right now. Maybe I'll leave that one alone, but copy and paste everything through, and I think we will have our change done. On a roll, updating all my trains such that we'll have 8 loaded side by side with no interlaced anymore. let's mark this as complete. And we've got the last one, which is basically just wanting to put white in. So I guess we're going to have to target the white train. We'll get one of these to go in this direction. Actually, wonder if I should just kept that one interlaced, but I think we'll just see how far we can get. And we want to replace this with one of those two, or maybe both. Let's see, this is going to change. Let's get rid of those trains. Reconnect. Oh, that didn't quite work. Reconnect this to there. And that is delivering white here instead. If I click like this and clean, that should, okay, that cleared out all the yellow. So this is going to give us white circles. And this is, what is the other? Okay. That's going to give us white faces. We still want green. So actually, did I leave that connect? I did not. Okay. Actually, we still want this one to be green. So I'll connect one of these with that. So that we get our, that's the, I guess the face. The face is green. The mouth needs to be white. So we're delivering white where the mouth is going to be made. Eventually, hopefully, we'll see white there. The only thing we're missing is the ears. The ears need to be white. So let's have a look over here. This is where, okay, I still have this set up. Let's change this out actually with our new kind of design or way of doing things. Yeah, let's even get rid of that, and I'll put we'll create some white ears right here. Now I've got some white being dropped off there. Let's go to, I get this new design. I kind of like the idea of just aligning the inputs here. I just wanting to flip that around such that we'd have color on the left, or liquid rather. And we'll take, oh, we're in different floors, so we'll do that. Go down here and we'll connect in, maybe I should have built that on the bottom floor, but anyway, you know what, let's actually make that change. It's going back down, going back in here, painting, getting on the bottom floor like that. Try this again. Oh, I need that. And flipped over. Okay, so liquid is, no, that's not quite right. There we go, liquid on the left. On the bottom floor. Oh, I can't build that on the bottom floor. Unless I went over instead of up. Okay, fine. Or as long as there's a reason for it, we'll let's put that back in. Right there. Put in our liquid. Put in our shapes. Then we're gonna have 4 of these. I think I've got a belt that combine. Oh, or do I actually want? How am I reading? You know what? Let's combine them. That's going to be the new way of doing things. Maybe. But we'll do a compress, I think. That's actually too many. But they'll still do the trick. Just need to get rid of these side ones. Now let's go to the train to do a load. 4. Do this type of thing. And I'll send a train over. Just realized that I'm not completely done. We need to cut those, don't we? So let's go to our platform for, actually let's do a split up. This time I am going to, so the ears are on the top. So we should see things along the top. If not, we'll, at least one side of these needs to be oriented around. Just build that up so we can kind of see what's going on inside. So I can see we need a clockwise turn on this side. And it will be a counterclockwise turn on this side. So now I built a train to transport these white ears over to our setup. Let's see, I'll drop that off right there and let's have a closer look. Where was that meant to go? That was meant to go in this line here. I have taken, no, that's this guy. I'm confused. That is, okay, so this is the line. Is it actually meant to go there? And this is probably a dead line. Yeah, that's a dead line. And I think we'll get our white ears here. I'm just going to, for the sake of it, clear that out. So, not great at trains. Didn't get the, still not connected. Hold on. Maybe I need to have it kind of like that. There we go. Okay. Realizing I overcompensated earlier by doing the rotation. And kind of breaking everything here. So realizing I just need to connect that. And I think maybe that will be the last step of this whole process. So we have achieved our goal. I will go pin these in, unlock, and we'll work on the third legacy. I'll start off by clearing the track. Just before I move on, I made a new design that essentially interlaces two belts. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs on either side, and it's going to interlace. So this is the little section I'll be using in this new little section. All it is just a bunch of belts that distribute such that you've got all your red or left side in, right side in, and it's going to go red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, etc. So I've just made a system for making checkers out of two shapes. We got red and gray going in. And there is our checker shapes that we can actually start delivering. But before I do, I'm going to see about multiplying. Because right now, I'm only able to consume a fourth of the input there. So I'm going to take this. I'll save that as a blueprint at some point. But I'll multiply this out. Let's see that, and instead of inputting here, I will get my, let's collect all the red, first of all, send that there. And this is our gray, not doing anything, but just simply just delivering that there. So that's going to give us a red, gray, red, gray, red, gray type of thing. And then I will want to have, it doesn't actually matter what side, because we're not putting actually one on top of the other. We'll do this type of thing. I'm realizing I probably will need a little bit more space, but we can push that back. Get that out like there. Actually, oh, hold on. Wait a minute. What am I doing? Couldn't I have just done this? Yeah, that makes way more sense. Okay, so with that, we're getting 4 in, and we've got 4 out. Only thing is, hold on, aren't I losing half somewheres? Because I've got basically 8 going in, or 2 full belts going in, and only 1 full belt going out. What did I do? Hold on, let me study this a bit. Okay, just realizing what's going on here. Only half of these are actually being consumed because this setup actually only consumes here, doesn't consume here. So yeah, I was right earlier. We do need, in fact, to push these back to some degree. Maybe we'll try right there. And then we'll map these in like this. I think I've got, hold on, let's just keep going, but map that in there. This guy can go there, and this guy can go there. What did I do? How come I've got, okay, so this is going to give me 4. What have I done? All right, I see it. It took a few seconds, but I keep getting confused with the fact that these aren't actually both inputting things. Oh, hold on. I need to fix that up. Put you there. Put you there. Okay. There we are. So each one of these now has input. Just in case I had the wrong thing, let's just clear that out. And what this will result in is 2 outputs that we can start delivering to the vortex. We're not too far away from that. So we'll put maybe that there. You know what? Let's just get rid of some of that other stuff. And I'll plug this guy in there, that guy in there. And then the next step is do the same thing, except for some of these are going to be white. Let me just clear that out. I'll start carrying out a white train over. In fact, hold on. No, I haven't. I'll do that now. We've got this white train now. Let's go in my new section for painting. And I'll place this maybe right over, change the inputs around. Let's just put one of these guys. Oh, I built that on the wrong floor. Let me try again. 18 right here, flip that around. Let's go down a floor. Put that right there with one of these liquids going in. That didn't get flipped around. One more time. Okay, flipped around. Okay, now I want liquid on the left. There we are. We will put our white. Oh my goodness. Oh my freaking goodness. Okay, not getting used to this. You know what? Here's what I gotta do. Here's what I gotta do. We gotta drop this system. Oh right. I'm not using. This is why I hate the different levels. I'm going to hit save. Click on this. Hit save. As we're going to go to the new paint. There. Okay, let's test this from the top again with this update. There, that is, to me, that's much easier to reason with. So we're going to have liquid go into one of the sides. We're going to have shape split off here. Let's not block the train. We'll have these 4 gather and mix. Because we want to start delivering both. I can kind of let that run. Actually, we're already starting to deliver the gray version. Once the gray version is done, I can just cut this line. And we'll have just pure white and red circles on the way in. I think we are close enough to the point I can cut this here. We can start just inputting. In fact, you know what? I think we can even go as far as to get rid of that together. And we'll just have pure white circles instead of the gray. So here's where I'm going to start doing things a little bit differently. I'm going to start multitasking. We can unlock that one, working on just that. So I'm going to go away from this, let this run. Let's look ahead at the next thing to be made. A slice of tastiness, more circles, but my thought is I'm going to let this run as long as I don't disrupt the train. Hold on. Uh-oh. What happened here? That's not quite right. We're having all kinds of train issues. I don't know why. This is getting so complicated. Oh. I would have thought that automatically jumps for me. I guess it doesn't. So I have to specifically say up, down, around. Though that's the wrong direction, isn't it? Yeah, it's... Okay, I think we just need one more. Okay, I think we fixed that little thing. How come that jumped here, but not there? Maybe you need to go from a certain distance away. Ah, okay. Or you just can't do it really close. That's good to know. Looking at the output, we're missing 2/3 of the belt. And I'm realizing now that I forgot to save my blueprint with multiple levels of stuff. So I'm just going to take a moment here to do copies, go on the floors up And then do the same with these two, update the blueprints, and hopefully see more output from this. Okay, so that has improved the situation, but we still have an issue with the dark track. Zooming back, is there something with this setup? I did make sure that the shapes were jumping over the liquid. When liquid goes through the air, it limits the output. I don't think I actually need to have 4 of those per, but looking back. Oh. Okay. I think this has more fundamentally how I'm collecting stuff here, I guess. Got all of these here. Got these here. Only have a single train. I probably should have made a few more of those. That actually might be what it is the fact that there's only one train going. Okay, let's see what this does. Realizing the other issue I've got going on is I'm trying to load 4 into 8, and that really doesn't, it's not the best. So let's update this new design as long as this fits. Okay, so this gives me all of these load into 4, all this side loads into 4. We already have our trains set. I think this is going to solve our problem. And we are, looks like, going to be finishing off with that. Okay, so let's then, while that's running along, see what we got here. We've got yellow circles, and I want yellow circles to be on the bottom, so some stacking is needed. We'll do our new stacking type here. What's on top is going to be the left. So that's that's perfect, because I can just simply get the gray to go over here, combine these 4 into 1, send this to the vortex, and we can start delivering these guys. So realizing I designed my checkers setup, this little crossing platform here, also forgot to put in its different levels. So let's go and put that in. I'll update my blueprint after that. Oh, looks like, you know what? I think it's just easier to do this and this. Next goal has been complete. So I think from here on, it's just an excessive amount of stacking with a turning. So I guess it's not going to matter what side is going to be turned. I'll just turn on. I'll try to keep it somewhat consistent just because. So the bottom layer is going to have the white like this. So we'll do a clockwise turn over this other side is clockwise, straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're then wanting to stack. So we'll do the new type of stacking that I'm going with now, like so. Push these 4 into there, these 4 into there, these guys into there, these guys up in there. These guys can all be collected like so. I think that will work for the next shape. I was just about to say, I'm wondering if we have a problem on the other side of the vortex, but we do not. We're starting to get some progress there, so that's good to see. Maybe I will work on bringing the color red over, because we're going to need that next. Right. I believe this is fine, except for the fact that I need to update this with the little change I've made. Hold on, what? Oh, let's just update our, try this again. That's our stacking times 4. Okay, so this should give me the ability to get all 3 floors. I think I need to reconnect that, and that though. Okay. So I believe we're at the point where I can turn this red and we can start working on the next item here. So let's go cut that out. Make a little bit room for the new painting. Let's flip this around so that shapes can be on this side. And liquids on this side. So liquid in, shape in, shapes out, That should convert this to red circles. That's being thrown in the top, which is the way we want. Okay, perfect. It really has been a while. I'm realizing I also am not unloading these as efficiently. I forgot. I've got I have 4 outputs or inputs to be fully optimized in terms of what I can put into these guys. Okay, that fixes some of our potential of dropping stuff off in the vortex. So with that vortex change, let's do the next bit, which is, again, more just stacking. So what I want to do, I think, just pretty much similar. In fact, I think I can even just copy this and then do another stack. Put these guys in. Actually, I think this should be the bottom. Or wait. Oh, this is a good question. I'm pretty sure this should be the top, actually. So what I can do is I can take my stack and flip it over. Not like that, but like this. Put these in there. So that is what's going to be thrown on top, which is... Actually, hold on. No, I definitely want it the other way around. I think I had it... with this should be thrown on top of something. Okay, well, let me just connect this and see what we get. If I take that and my plan was to snag one of these lines, so we won't be as full. We won't have a full belt out, but that's okay. We can multitask, work on other things. So essentially what we want to throw on top of this is white on the left top corner, which is that. Okay, perfect. I think that's going to work out. Let's just make sure, obviously, that this gets connected like that. Whoops. The next part of this shape is going to be a circle with one end being a corner. And I figured instead of trying to make that, I've got this spot here, which is already. So if we make a train shape line, somewhere's in there, then we're able to take this train line towards our setup, and I can start utilizing that. Am I on the right side? Yep. Okay, so essentially we want to take that. We want to make it green, so I'll take a moment to bring the color green over. Our circle with a square shape is on the way. Our green has arrived. So what do we need to do? We need to do some painting. So we'll do the new type of painting. I can just throw this in like that. Throw the green in there. Throw our shapes in here. Collect these new shapes. And that needs to be stacked such that it's on top. Because we're putting it on a circle, the orientation doesn't really matter. Let's do stacking. Times 4. All that matters is the green shape has to be on the right where the top is put in. So we'll do that. And we'll do this and that. Connect this. And I think that will let that go while we're doing that. Then we can flip back over here. All right, so we want to take this shape. This is going to be stacking such that this shape is on the... We did something wrong, didn't we? The shape that's on the bottom is always going to have white. Okay, yeah, we because this is thrown on top, the second layer has the red on the top left. Yeah, okay, we need a clockwise turn here. Okay, so let's put that in. Turn clockwise straight. Like so, so, and so. Connect all those in like that. All right, I'll have to let that run, get caught up, and maybe I work on the one after over here. Preparing the shapes that we're going to need for the step after. I see some things that work out pretty well here, so let's grab those stars. And let's grab these guys here. Only thing is I want to, how should I best do this? I want to cut off part of this. Maybe I'll do this like along the side. So if I destroy the, like this way, if I destroy the west half, I would want to orient this way to be, I think it's 180 we would want. And then a cut. So let's do 180. We'll need 4 of them. And then a cut. And then push them in like that. And we should just get the top. That's the part that we want to paint for step 1. I'll do this. Copy. If that works on that side, it's going to work on this side. Yep, that's the shape we want there. Eventually, the reason that I did the stars is because I could see further down the line we're going to need the stars. So what I'm thinking, just to keep myself organized, this side will be working on the 3rd shape. I think this is definitely the first time I've done 3 at a time. I don't even know if I've done 2 at a time. Okay, so we'll bring this up to the area close to the vortex. We'll want to unload this. So do we have a shape train unload? I can sit right there. We're going to want to, have a color. So what I do anytime I want to have a color train, we'll just bring this over into this side. Have that dropped off about here. That's under the news section. I've got, say, liquid train unload. That like that. So we should get all that together. Once this arrives, this is just simple painting to start with anyways. So do this. Put in our liquid there. Put in our shapes here. Combine these 4. Now, remind myself to do this. Okay, good. And I think that's the maximum. I think 3 is the maximum that I can do at a time if I want to have 4 connected as output and full build. Okay, so there's our shape. What? Slow down. What happened here? Oh, I connected the wrong shape, didn't I? No. That might have been some of the old stuff that had gone. Okay, it just needs to be flushed out. Okay, fair enough. We'll let that run for a bit. I see this is setting, going along. This is not. Let's investigate that as a problem. So that's down this direction. I'm glad there's only 3 that I can do at a time maximum. I don't think I could manage more. That looks right. I wonder if it just hasn't arrived yet. No. What have I gotten wrong? Is there... Oh, okay, those little nasty pins. This is the first time in 3 months that I've had to touch pins. Where do the pins go? The pins have to go before the green gets thrown on top. So we might as well... Okay, I got a platform for pin, right? Pin push. Put 4 of those together. Have those pushed in like that. So I think that should fix that issue. We've completed something, so we can unlock this and work on the next one. Okay, so let's flip over there now, which is over here. So thankfully, this is the last one of this series. Okay, so we want to keep this shape, but we want another, yeah, it's pretty much the same pattern. Taking this, I can see that now. And then let's do a stack platform. That's the new stack format that I've got. Kind of push that like that. So these guys are going to go on top. Can go in there. And we'll just snag this. Will be even less efficient, but that's okay because I'm now working on other things while I'm waiting for that to run. We need 14,000 of those. As long as I don't kick the rails or anything like that, I think we'll be okay. Let's investigate these guys. I think, yeah, they just have not arrived yet. So I'm now transporting some stars over this area because this guy has been complete. We need to do some painting. I could just do this type of thing. Though, let's flip that over such that the liquid is like so. Push in shapes, push in liquid. This will be our stars. It's going to matter which one's on the top, which one's on the bottom. We want the star to be on the bottom. So let's do our new stacking. Let's flip this around. Put that in like that. Have this go up like that. Collect these 4 over there. And I think that should verify there's no pin. Okay. No pin issue there. Let's look in this. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. I think there may be very little work here if I understand this correctly for this next part. I want to cut this. Let's point north. If I cut the west side of this, I need a square and a circle. So yeah, let's do a cut to start with. This platform cut. Go over a little bit, just give us more space just in case we need it. And then we probably need to rotate and then a cut up. So let's look north. Everything on the west should be gone. Yep. Okay. Now we want to do a clockwise turn and then a split. So let's put in our clockwise turn. Going up straight, how about? Okay. And then we want to do our split up. But this should be divided in 2. Let me think. It's platform. Split up. We'll need to give ourselves a little bit of room. Let's take that out. We want 4 of these. One. No, we're going to need a little bit more space than that. 2, 3, and 4. We can just plug directly in like that, I suppose. So that would be 2. And then another one. Hold on. Not sure. Let's pull this back to there. That can go there. That can go there. Okay, we need a... Do I have a cross corner? That's something like... Yeah, there we go. It's going to allow me to kind of sneak that through like that. Once we are here, then I could just trying to figure out how to combine these and then push out. So we could take that, but then I think we're creating too much anyways, aren't we? I don't know that it's going to matter, but just to be safe, maybe we should just push some trash like that, just to keep that flowing. And let's just verify this is both shapes. This is the squares and the circles. And let's verify we're actually getting something for it. We are for the circle. For the square, I think this is the first set of squares arriving. And we're getting some of those. Awesome. Okay. All the square pieces have been complete. Let's see. Let's get that unlocked. Let's get that done. So we no longer need to deliver these. We'll take that out. I could deliver everything, but I actually don't need to now, do I? Because the squares are complete. So I could, let's just pull just the circles then. So we don't want that. In fact, you know what? Let's just give ourselves a little bit more room. Cut, push this down just a little bit. And instead of putting trash, let's just trash the side that delivers what we don't need. That is the squares. Wait for that to run. Feeling like I probably should have just left that alone, but anyways, our squares, we went throughout. So let's do, that's going to be every other one. This is going to allow us to combine. No, it's not too. No, stay away from that. Oh, how do we not go? Oh, that's annoying. I'm forced. Okay, what if I put in the trash later? Let's go 1, 2, 3. Oh, shoot. Send you into here, send you into there. If I do the trash, okay, so there's an order to how those have to be done. All right, well, let's get away from that. What I should have been doing, I found, I'm going to cheat a little bit because I found, well, I may have lost it, but there was a half green circle somewheres. Here it is. So instead of doing painting, we're just going to take this and cut it. I point north. Okay, see, I'm going to have to do orientation, but let's start with mining, putting it on a train. Before it goes on the train, though, let's see. We want to make this go clockwise and then cut. So let's put in a turn clockwise. And then let's put in a cut. I think that is what we want, except for the fact that it might matter. The direction, what I will be combining it with. You know what, maybe we'll, because it might be a little bit more obvious, we'll put it in the right orientation closer to where we're going to be stacking. We'll just concentrate on building what we need. Loading it into a train, having that train go to the production area for this part, this shape, which I'm going to find the vortex. Let's get this far at least. And from here. And then from here up there. So this is going to be shapes for that's already colored. So this is the green shape we need to combine. In fact, I think we just need to throw it on top. If I'm correct, let's just take that, copy that, put that like that. So if that's correct, that would be this guy with the green on the bottom when it arrives. So we'll see if that needs to be oriented anyway. Let's unlock. And then there was just 2 for today. So I can see we're going to need some pins. That's coming after. Should let this run for a bit. Got impatient, so waiting. So I see that this is kind of the opposite what we need. So we need a 180 spin. As long as I don't change my direction. I got this correctly. We're going to do a turn of 180. Put 4 of those together. Collect those. Then we want to stack that with this, such that it's going to be on the top. So let's do our new stacking. Put this in like that. And we'll take this shape, put that there. We combine these. And we'll see what that gives us. So I'm going to go ahead with the next bit, which is basically mining. We'll start with mining. Hopefully that'll fit. All right, so that's going to give us shapes that I would need to cut. Right now, if I were to cut the west half, I'd lose what I want. So let's do a 180 and then a cut. So we will do a turn 180 up. And we will do a cut. Do the same thing on this side. In and out, like so. Okay, so that is going to be the shape. We will want, you know what, let's just throw some pins on it. We'll combine it with some painting later. For pins, that's platform push pin push. Like that, might as well. Okay, and then we'll do the painting closer to the main site. We'll take this. We'll have to collect some blue. We're sending this towards our build area, maybe over like this. So that's going to be some shapes here that we need to first paint. I don't think I've used blue today, or at least for this setup. It's blue on the way over. Just have it so that's pointing up, just to kind of keep consistent. So that's an unload of a train. Okay, so let's start with painting. New type of painting. Connect our liquid. And we'll connect some shapes. Combine those. Well, let's see. Okay, I was just going to say, are we actually delivering the correct thing of what we've done before? Yes, we are. That's good. So I think all I need to do, let this run for a little bit more, but I can, I'll prepare the stacking that's going to take place. The blue is on the left, which will be, can actually connect that already. So there's our blue liquid. Shapes yet to arrive. Let's see, is there anything that's gone wrong, or some might be worth, if I see some things ready, just clicking respawn on one of these guys at least to kick the ball. And is that oriented the right way? Don't think so. I think I need to have that go clockwise. Hope I'm right on that, but we can put this in here and see how it goes. Clockwise. Here, 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 here. Collect these. Push that into there. Looking at this guy here, I think this is actually oriented in such a way that maybe I didn't want to do that turn. After all, I forgot my standard of orienting everything north. But if this... Oh no, that needs a 180. Oops, too much. So a turn of 180. It's not quite right, but it'll actually do. Take that out just because. Okay, so that's on the bottom, oriented this way. Yep. Yeah, that'll work. Combine these guys into there. Take these four into there, and I think that will be it. I'll come back in a little bit and see if that finishes it off. I can click on that, though. And this is working. So that's going to be the last one for today. While that's rolling, let me just end on commenting on this new strategy versus trying to get trains to do as much as possible. The way I had trains working is it was probably dumping a little bit more per shape at a time. The issue is when you only need 10, 14,000 around there, it's almost too much work. I find this a lot easier, especially now that I have this, I've got away from the bottom and upper floor and the platforms. Everything is flat here with this crossing or interlacing I like that quite a bit more. So I think this is probably going to be my new way forward. So just kind of reviewing. This is how I'll be doing painting. This is how I'll be doing stacking and running back and forth. I think I'll also like the idea of just kind of cutting the 3 different sides of the vortex in my building area in my head. That just works a lot easier. Just using trains to drop off the liquid and shapes that I need that's further away. And I'll just getting in the groove. It's been 3 months since I played this, so trying to remember some of the tricks in that. Anyways, let's finish off clicking on that. And I hope, no, I don't hope, it will be much sooner than 3 months when I get back to this. In fact, it's probably going to be sometime later in January. Let's look at where I need to go next. All the tasks are done that I can. So really, I'm forced to do milestone and work with crystals. So I have to first unlock crystals. And then once I do that, figure out what the heck they are. But you know what? That's another day. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully see you another time.